Shalom Aleichem Rabosai, good to see you again, or rather, you see me. Very interesting topic I've chosen to talk about this week. It's really an excuse to talk about something close to my heart. The Pasuk begins in this week's Parsha regarding Pesach Mitzrayim. There's differences between Pesach Mitzrayim, Pesach Dorot, but one thing which is no difference is regarding the Maror. The Torah commands Jewish people before they leave Egypt. It says, the Jewish people are commanded before they leave Egypt to eat the Korban Pesach together with Mar. Now that's really strange, think about it. We eat Mar every year at Leila Seder, and we understand why. Maror zu al shema, why do we eat the Mar? Al shum shemira mitim chayenu, because the mitim made our lives miserable, made our lives bitter. We try to emulate, try to reconstruct, to relive the experience of Yitzhak Mitzrayim every year. We're far away, it's been thousands of years, and we're commanded to feel as if we ourselves left Egypt, as Rambam says in the Chamutz Matzah Perek Zayin. We have to ourselves feel it, so part of feeling is we Mar, to try to feel something of that bitterness. But the Jewish people leaving Egypt, that very first Pesach, when they're in Egypt, why did they have to eat Mar? Their whole lives were Mar. They spent years of Mar, of bitterness, of suffering, of slavery. Why did they have to eat Mar? So the answer is, I think, maybe the Gemara Rosh Hashanah Daf Yud Aleph says that the Jewish people, their servitude, their slavery, ceased 6 months on Rosh Hashanah before they actually left. It stopped on Rosh Hashanah, and for 6 months before they left in Nisan. 6 months they weren't doing any work. They weren't slaves already. In other words, what was. They're not there anymore. They sort of forgot about it. They might have known in the Seichel, intellectually they knew, oh, this is Geshmak, we're going free, it's wonderful. But they were far removed from it, and they needed to experience, even they, in Egypt, needed some emotional attachment, needed some experience to feel that, hey, this is great, we're going free, we're leaving our bitterness, we had Marar, and now we're leaving it. So, experience, emotions are necessary. It was even necessary for the Jewish people when they left Egypt. But it's not such a simple thing. The Gemara in Shabbos Daf Yud says that regarding a person who was davening a long time, some people like to daven a long time, and the Gemara says that one of the Amoraim was upset. He said, "This is terrible. They're not striking Torah. They're leaving Chaye Olam, eternal life, and they're oskim b'Chaye Shah, and they're involved in, I think the word in English is ephemeral, very chashiv word, in fleeting moments. They're engaged in tefillah, they're not engaged in Talmud Torah." Read this Gemara and you go, excuse me? What would Rabbi Aaron say? Davening tefillah is Chaye Shah? Learning Torah Chaye Olam? I get that. But davening tefillah Chaye Shah? It's a mitzvah, it's a huge thing to meet Hashem 3 times a day. What's that? Why is it Chaye Shah? And the answer is very simple. See, because when you study something, when you're engaged in Torah, your intellect is working. We want you, of course, to feel it here. Your heart should connect. We want you to experience, to understand what you're doing. It's not physics. It's Torah Hashem. But at the end of the day, it's an intellectual experience. When you learn something, you know it. It's there. Unless, of course, you don't do chazar and you forget. But it's there. It's an intellectual experience, first and foremost. Tefillah, first and foremost, is an emotional experience. You're trying to connect to Hashem through your emotions. And I'll tell you a secret. Your mincha yesterday isn't the same as today, and it won't be the same as tomorrow. Because every day is going to be different. Because you cannot relive and you cannot re-experience what you did yesterday and the previous day. In that respect, tefillah indeed can be Chaye Sha'ah. Because it's there for the moment. You might have had the most incredible davening. Doesn't guarantee that the next day will be the same. Emotions are fleeting. Your intellect can last. And that's why the emotional experience, as important as it is not something that we can always rely upon. I've spoken many times at Shibachars. Remember, I mentioned that the Jewish people have Ma'amad Har Sinai, 2 seconds later, Chet HaEgel. Eliyahu Navi Bahar Carmel is gets the people to fall on their faces and yell, Hashem Elohim. Shecht all the Nevi Baal, the next minute he's running for his life. Emotional experiences are there, and they're important, but they don't last. It's the discipline of the day-to-day, the tekeves achat aseh b'boker, the tekeves hashini taseh ben arba'im. That's what counts. The daily discipline and the intellectual exercise. You know, this past, when was it? This week, last week, I lose track of time. We had a debate in the Beit Midrash, one of the great debates. Rav Blau and Rav David debated the place of new Hasidic trends in contemporary Jewish society. Which is really funny because I would have thought they would have said the same thing. And they did actually on many of the issues. But as you can imagine, that's part of the issue. Hasidic trends, wonderful. Galter, Gartel, goodness gracious. Pay is down to who knows where, wonderful, if it gets you going. But it's not going to keep you there. To keep you there, you have to combine the emotion with the intellect. You have to combine your emotions with the daily exercise of Talmud Torah. So I wish us all, Rabbi Isai, to be Matzliach B'ezrat Hashem, to combine the two, the Seichel and the Regesh, together to be Oved Hashem, always in all ways. Shabbat Shalom.